Welcome to my next Shameless Season 11 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important if you are caught up to the point where I am and rewatching or watching Shameless, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which, of course, I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you found out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And just so all of you are aware, I have seen Shameless all the way through at least one time. Some episodes I've seen more than others. And for the most part, this show is really, really good. Although, starting with the end of Season 8 till the end of the series, I wasn't the biggest fan. It has good moments, but the last two seasons especially were a big letdown in my opinion. And if you want to, you can actually skip ahead a bit, as I actually recorded a Shameless series finale rant video after the finale of Shameless ended. Obviously, it's a rant video, so I complain. So if you click right here, with about 20 seconds left to go in the video, that'll be the link to that rant, and enjoy and let me know if you've watched it. But with all that said, this will be Shameless, Season 11, Episode 4. The title of this episode is called NIMBY, in all capital letters, and this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. So Frank is woken up by some gunshots, and we see that Terry Malkovich and the rest of the Malkovich clan have moved in next door in an old lady's house. And Mickey mentions that he wasn't subjected to good parenting like the Gallaghers. Carl tells Sergeant Jans he's hard right now, fully erect for police work. Debbie's looking for Franny. She finds her in the upstairs bathroom, and what Franny has done is she's superglued some of her hair, thinking it was hair gel. Tammy's old teacher, Marcos, wanted to meet Lip, but he doesn't want to come. Janes and Carl talk to Miss June, who's loitering. She's a cigarette dealer. I don't know if she's a hooker, but she stands on like a corner, and she knows Lip, and her and Carl talk. And then Sergeant Jans says over the speaker, "If I catch you out here again, I'm busting your ass." Ian tells Mickey that he doesn't think it's a good idea that they work together. Terry Malkovich asks Frank what's he staring at as he's watching the Malkovich clan move in, and he says he's just watching the neighborhood go to shit in real time. Great line by Frank Gallagher, played by Bill Macy or William H. Macy. Terry is upset that Frank thinks he's better than him, as the Gallaghers aren't much better than us. And then Frank says that he goes inside, and he says that he's declaring war about the Malkoviches. Mickey and Sandy mention that we're Malkoviches too. Lip meets Mr. Neeson, that's Marcos after all, and Mickey is cleaning his gun as Ian is getting out of the shower, and he says he's going to transfer cash from the alibi to the drop point. Frank goes over to Kevin V's. We've got a problem, and V wonders where Frank's mask is. The Malkoviches have a Confederate flag hanging in the front door. Sandy tells Debbie she doesn't live at the Malkoviches anymore. Interesting. And V finds out that Debbie has entered Franny in the Little Miss Sunshine contest, a friendly competition, as of course Amy and Gemma, or is it just one of them, is entering as well. I think it's just one of them, like Gemma. I can't remember though. And Lip thinks that Marcos Nissan has a thing for Tammy, and Tammy doesn't see it. Carl doesn't want his old friend Solo arrested, as Sergeant Janes was planting evidence on him, like more evidence to keep him locked up, and others are too. She's planting some evidence on. I mean, they were already doing illegal activity, but she's making the illegal activity potentially stick more. Kev, Frank, and Liam go over options as far as the Malkoviches go, and Kev wants to scare the shit out of them. Marcos tells Lip and Tammy he does some real estate stuff, and then it's mentioned that Lip has fixed up this house that they're renting. He also mentions that Tammy used to come over to his house when she was a student. Interesting. Carl's letting Solo go, but he has to pick two of his people to get arrested. Kev, Frank, and Liam try to recruit some black folks. There's some kind of like black organization, I can't remember what it is, against the Malkoviches. And they're willing to do it, but then they find out it's the Malkovich family, And they run back inside and want nothing to do with the Malkoviches. V gets the judges to end Franny's time as, she had taken too long, but they hadn't said anything yet. Kev gives a little money to Mickey to transport. And I should mention that Kev and Ian had got like these tactical outfits to look more copish. And then Kev has an idea to distract the Malkoviches as they want Frank to go in there to talk to the old lady. I can't remember, Miss McCurd. And it turns out that Tammy actually dated her old teacher, Marcos. Sergeant James ruins all of Miss June's cigarettes and makes her take off her dress and wig. And even the Malkovich's dog is racist, Frank says. So Frank has to keep the dog quiet, as the dog actually likes Frank. But now Liam has to go in while Kev burns pieces of paper like Confederate flags and swastikas. Papers with that on there. And then members of the Malkovich clan family tell Kev that real racism is in their hearts, minds, and souls. Liam talks to Miss McCurd, and she says that Terry Malkovich is a beast. Tammy tells Lip that Marcos and his fiancée are coming by. Kelly, Marcos' fiancée, is really young, and she has braces. James tells Carl he's going to be a decent cop. V mentions during the competition that Debbie is actually a registered sex offender because of the stuff that she did with Julia. Ian and Mickey find out that there's a lot of cannabis being grown, and because of all the new gear, they've been offered $1,000 a day for a new position. Lip and Tammy give Marcos and Kelly the tour of the house and point out the work that he's done. Lip did. Kelly is actually a high school student, although she's close to graduating. And then V gives a speech about Little Miss Southside. And then it turns out that a girl in a wheelchair wins Little Miss Southside, and she's not even from the Southside. She's from, overseas. Miss McCurd actually really likes Terry Malkovich, Liam reveals. And V and Debbie apologize to one another. Tammy tells Lip she doesn't have daddy issues then. Tammy realizes that she did, in fact, have daddy issues after her mom died, and she wasn't getting enough attention. Lip smiles like, yep, I knew it. And she tells Lip she's a fucking cliche. Carl gives Miss June the wig and dress back. He also gives Miss June a carton of cigarettes to sell and tells her a spot to go sell them where they don't really pay attention to, at least at the moment. Frank sees and hears something disturbing from where the Malkoviches are staying. I'm thinking it has something to do with Terry Malkovich and Miss McCurd, and that's what ends this episode of Shameless. So I wasn't the biggest fan of this. It's not the same show anymore. This season is just not the same. I'm going to score the episode a 5.8 out of 10, and my characters of the episode, I have to go with Frank, and I'm going to have to go with Tammy. You could argue different people. It is what it is, but I think Tammy, actually, I used to hate her. I'm not hating her on this rewatch, as I used to not like her. She's easy on the eyes, too. That helps, but those are my thoughts on this episode of Shameless, but I want to hear your thoughts. It's your turn. If you're a fan of Shameless and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comments section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Shameless. What would you rate the episode, and whom, if you had to choose, would be your male and female character of the episode? Remember to click right here for my Shameless series finale rant video, assuming that you've seen every single episode of Shameless. Then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDevTV.